Hi Taurus, I'm Pam, and welcome to your Psychic Tarot reading for September 2015. This month I laid out the 5-card Rainbow Tarot spread for you using the Aquarian Tarot deck. And remember, this is a general reading, so if you'd like to get a reading specifically with details just for you, you would need a private reading. Also, please be sure to watch your rising sign and your moon sign to gain more insight and information because they will resonate more for you some months than your sun sign will. So please be sure to check that out. Also, if you'd like to get your crystal reading for this month of September, please click on the link below this video in the description box and it will take you to the spot where you can download and purchase your crystal reading for your sign, Taurus, for this month of September. Now on to your reading. And the first card that showed up here today for you, Taurus, is the Lovers card. And the Lovers card to me is a card that symbolizes this is two people that are very in tune with each other's needs. You're very empathic and connected to each other. There's a lot of passion, sexual chemistry, and desire between the two of you. However, with the Lovers card, you do need to see what other cards are around it. Sometimes the Lovers card can indicate that there's an outside influence interfering here, which could be family members, friends, work, exes, anything like that. But it's not always the case. Sometimes it's just a passionate, loving relationship. I hear spring is in the air and love is beginning to bloom for many of you Tauruses. I do feel many of you Tauruses have been working on yourself and doing almost some kind of makeover. It could be external makeover or it could be internal makeover or both. And I do feel some of you have landed a new position and are in a position of prominence in your family. I do feel there's a great deal of sexual chemistry between you and someone with whom you've just met recently. So that's interesting, isn't it, Taurus? I feel like you two are going to come clean with each other. All things are going to be out on the table. If either one of you have any little hidden things or secrets or things in the past that you don't like, I feel like you're going to share them and be open and honest with each other. Both of you are going to do this. You have overwhelming chemistry with someone. It's coming up very strongly here for many of you Tauruses. And I do feel that many of you Tauruses have done some kind of overhaul and change to your diet or some kind of exercise program. And I do feel that you're seeing results. Like maybe you didn't see them in the past or it was taking a long time, but I'm getting you have been or just recently are starting to see results with those changes that you've made. I do feel that for some of you Tauruses, not that long ago, within the past 2 years, your world came crashing down upon you when somebody broke it off with you. It could have been ending a long-time love affair. It could have been ending a marriage. It could have just been, a serious coupling. You don't have to have been married. But I get that you were quite devastated or heartbroken by this, and it was very hard, I feel, for you to get over. I feel many of you Tauruses have found your female or male knight in shining armor. I get that very strongly. So I feel that some of you have really met somebody that's very important, and they're saying the words crisscross, crisscross, crisscross to me. I feel like you are either traveling back and forth to each other's houses or wherever you live or state, states. Maybe you're not in the same state or towns, and many towns away, but I'm getting back and forth, like crisscrossing back and forth to see each other quite a bit. I do feel you happily married Tauruses may have renewed your vows or may be thinking of renewing your vows, and also working on some kind of projects together as a couple. You could be renovating a house or refinishing furniture together, or I don't know, detailing cars, I don't know, anything, whatever you two want to do together as a couple. So for you happily married Tauruses, I feel those are some of the things going on for you. Now, the next card you have here in this layout today, Taurus, you have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords to me is a card that symbolizes moving. This card could mean moving your home and residence, moving to a new home. It could also indicate moving a job. Could be that you could be moving from one location to another, moving for a job even. It could also indicate moving away from some situations that you're tired of, or you've dealt with for a long time, and now you want to move away from it. It could also indicate that. But first and foremost, to me, this card comes up when people are actually physically moving their residence. I do feel they're saying to me, you're staking your claim on new property and new territory. So I feel that some of you are either buying land or you are buying a new home somewhere. And it could be a vacation home if it's not a new home to live in. It could, that you're living in all year round. But I'm hearing staking your claim on new property. I do feel there's a great deal of attachment to this property, and I get like emotions and emotional feelings about it. It almost makes me feel like maybe you went there when you were a kid growing up and you just loved this particular spot, or maybe it's a spot where you grew up as a kid or your family did. I feel like for some reason, I don't know exactly why for all of you, but I definitely get emotional attachments here to this property. And they're telling me taking the scenic route. And they're saying you've been dreaming about doing this for a long time. So I feel there's something really special about this. And I feel that you've worked very hard to achieve this goal. I feel that this is something that you've wished for, or that you've been wishing for. And I feel like you've made it a reality. There may be family disruption over this, because I feel there may be some family members that don't like that you're doing it, or maybe they're just envious that you're doing it. But I get there's going to be a little bit of fallout from you doing it. I feel some of you, this isn't going to apply to all of you, but I feel some of you are building something from the ground up, like building a structure. So maybe you're going to Maine and you're building a log cabin. Or, maybe you're going to somewhere in the Adirondacks and you are building a lake home. Or, I'm only speaking about the United States because that's where I live. But some special place that you've got some attachment to, doesn't matter what country you live in, I feel like you're going to be building something there. Because I'm actually seeing the structure being built. I'm seeing wood being put together, hammers, nails, and I'm watching it getting built. And I'm seeing dirt around the bottom of it. And it's not the kind of like construction dirt that sometimes looks like clay or yellowish. This dirt is very brown. So it looks like very fertile soil wherever this is. And I feel like there's trees around in this area. So I don't think it's a beach kind of property, although that could be for some of you. I feel, but wherever it is, it's someplace that is important to you. And I do feel like you're going to take painstaking time and effort into details and the craftsmanship and how this is built. I don't feel this is some fly-by-night scheme or idea. I feel this is structure has to be built exactly the way you want it or you're not going to have it. I feel like you're really particular about what you want to see happen here. I also feel like through doing this, you're making a lot of amends from your past. Like somehow this is amending some things from your past. So the card that you have crowning your reading here today is a very good card, Taurus. You have the Star. And the Star to me is a card that symbolizes, this is like spiritual blessings coming to you. It's like God and the angels hearing your prayers and wishes and granting them and answering them. I feel like you're learning to be more considerate in general, more considerate to others, more considerate of others' feelings. That doesn't mean you were inconsiderate before, but they are talking about that. So I feel like you're kind of in tune and more sensitive to the feelings and emotions of others right now. And I feel a lot of Tauruses have wanted to make a mark in the world, like make their mark, make their stamp on the world. And I feel like many of you are doing that right now. I feel many of you are getting ready to launch some kind of project, plan, or idea and get it off the ground in September. And I do feel that you're working very hard to see that things come out just right. So if you've been writing a book or writing a screenplay or working on something, a business deal or anything, I feel that you've been working on it very hard to make it absolutely just right so it comes out. Again, just like with the house, I feel like you're doing this in what you're working on and creating. And I do feel that you're getting real inspiration from others. Some of you, not to sound overly religious here, some of you are getting inspiration from the Bible and people in the Bible, but not for all of you. Some of you are getting inspiration from what you're doing from other people. Somebody out there is going to become a substitute teacher. They're telling me that. So I'm not sure why they wanted to say that. Somebody in the spirit world wanted me to acknowledge somebody that is going to start out, I guess, in this school year in the fall as getting into doing substitute teaching. So maybe that's something you didn't do before. But there was somebody out here that wanted me to say that. And I'm hearing for some of you Tauruses, I feel like you really wanted to have a clean slate. Clean slate and starting over new. I feel that that's been a feeling or a sensation that many of you Tauruses have had. I get a real strong sense of Tauruses starting like a new chapter in your life. And maybe there's some chapters in your life you want to like crumple up and toss, but I'm definitely getting the sensation of starting a new chapter here. So the next card you have in this layout today is the I don't like this card for you, I'm sorry, it's a 5. You have 5 of Swords. Now 5s are always conflict or loss, as I said before, and in this case 5 of Swords is this is like drawing a line in the sand, standing your ground, being prepared and ready for battle. You could have people that are trying to undermine you or gossip about you or start arguments with you, but I get you're holding your position firm and drawing the line in the sand. I do feel like you're tired of the trouble that people have caused you, where people may have they've like sought out to undermine you in some way. And I hear you saying, like, why do people always have to cause so much trouble? Why can't everybody just, get along? That's what I'm getting. You're feeling like, almost like people just seem to cause unnecessary trouble, and you're tired of it. I do feel many of you Tauruses are working on accumulating wealth. right now. Like, I feel like you're trying to get some really strong financial stability for yourself. I do feel that there's been people in your life that have created some drama for you. And some of this drama that they've created has actually brought some kind of misfortune into your life. But it's funny, with you, Taurus, I feel like even though people have done that to you or tried to do that to you, I feel like you just keep ticking-tocking along and rolling with the punches. You just keep rolling along, even though I'm not saying you haven't struggled. I'm not saying they haven't thrown you off your game, but I feel like it almost is inconsequential what they've done because you just keep plugging right along. For some reason, they want to mention square dancing. So, because they're telling me, they're saying a couple different things here. I'm getting mapping out something, but I'm seeing an actual map. And then they're telling me getting everybody on board. And then the next thing I'm hearing is the words square dancing. So, I don't know if this is a trip that you're planning with people, or you're just going somewhere with some friends and you're all in agreement and you're going square dancing. I do not know, but this is another phrase that they added in here with the Five of Swords. I'm hearing estimations and guesstimations. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. So I feel like you are doing something with facts, figures, and money that has to do with people getting their share or something getting divided. This could be in an estate getting settled. It could be a lawsuit, to do with a lawsuit. It could be to do with a divorce. It could be in other things, like maybe there was a big commission that happened for a team and now everybody has to get their commissions. I don't know, but it's coming up as estimations and guesstimations and everybody wanting their share and figuring it out. You might be the one that's actually, figuring out what everybody gets. You could be the one doing that. Now, the last card you have here today in this reading, Taurus, for September 2015, you have the Page of Rods. And this Page of Rods has shown up a couple of times for the different signs this month. And you have this page here too. And this is either and this would either be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign. Pages can be adults or children. They can also be bringers of messages. Pages can often be bringing a message. I do feel for some of you Tauruses, you are kind of getting yourself up and going out of a rut that you may have been in for a little while. And I feel you getting out and socializing with people. I feel like you're getting into a phase coming up. You're not in it yet. I feel like it's coming in September and October and rolling forward, that you're going to be more social, comes up here. I do hear that you're going to be attending some kind of event where there's going to be trombones and saxophone players there. So you're going to some event where there's music that's being played, where there's definitely a brass section for sure. If you're a Taurus that's going somewhere where you could be eating exotic dishes and different types of cuisine that you're not normally used to eating, be cautious and careful, because they're telling me you could get quite sick from it. So be careful if you're traveling or you're somewhere where there's some really exotic foods you've never tried before. Doesn't have to be even exotic in general. They could be just exotic to you. I'm getting, go cautious, avoid it, or take very little, because I feel like you could be getting sick. And I'm seeing things with mushrooms. I'm also seeing things it could be snails, or something like that. So, I don't know. I'd just be cautious about that. I feel like some of you Tauruses are also working on expediting procedures. You could be putting together some kind of training manual or instructions for someone that they need to follow, because I'm getting you working out something that seems very organized and plans that would be coined expediting procedures comes up here. If you encounter somebody that's a real savvy type of human being that talks to you like butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, be cautious of that person as well. Because there's a real sensation that this person could be duplicitous and talk out both sides of their mouth. So you have to be careful about that person. I feel like he's like a sweet talker or a butter upper, like he would butter people up. And I don't feel it's sincere. I feel there's like always an ulterior motive or reason for this. And I do feel that it's a male. He might have the name of Chuck or Charles, or a C name comes up here. Could be Carlos. Anything with a C name, I feel like, is associated with this guy. For some of you, his name might be nothing like that, but you would know who this guy is. He's a real wheeler dealer in some way. I feel like he wants to pick your brain or to get some kind of knowledge or secrets out of you to use for his advantage. So just think on that. For some of you, this could be a boss or a coworker. For some of you, it could even be like a family member. There's real issues of trust here. So don't be too trusting of this person. It's a word of caution. Because I feel, and it didn't come up with this card. But this card could indicate maybe that he's going to try to take something from you. And it's your knowledge. It's knowledge and things that you know. So just be very cautious in what you share with this this guy that's going to be like a real sweet talker, or, he butters people up and schmoozes them to get the information that he wants to know, and then he's going to use it to help his case. So hopefully that'll make sense to some of you Tauruses out there. So I want to say thank you so much for watching and sharing and liking my videos. Thank you for subscribing and for Google Plusing. I do appreciate that. And I also like to remind you to be sure to subscribe to my channel, because that way when I post my mid-month Psychic Tarot updates and my monthly Psychic Tarot readings and any other videos that may come along, you will get notified. Also, please be sure to follow me on Facebook at The Lucky Mermaid LLC, because I post things there daily you won't be able to see here on YouTube, and to follow me on Twitter. And a reminder, if you'd like to get your crystal reading for this month of September, Taurus, please click on the link below in the description box below this video, or you can go to my website, theluckymermaid.com, and click on the videos tab on my menu, and you can see the videos I have for download and purchase there, and you could get your video crystal reading for this month of September. So I hope you have an absolutely beautiful month of September, Taurus, and know that I wish you many blessings and peace.